We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Greetings, everyone. It's Professor Jamila Franklin again, and we're with Gray Lives on the Rise, and we have the lovely Vicky Ferrer. I hope I pronounced her last name correctly. And she's going to be our guest today, but before we get started, we have to go over some infomercial things and some background information. I'm Professor Jamila Franklin. I'm the founder and CEO of Gray Lives on the Rise. See my shirt? See? Gray Lives on the Rise. And we started this about 2 years ago. I was just walking, exercising. I love walking. And this download came into my consciousness. And it basically said, you know, there is nothing out there in America that deals with your demographic other than AARP, the American Association for Retired Persons, and Medicare. So I don't see myself as a retired person, so I didn't really relate to it, even though they do some wonderful things for people who are very active. It just wasn't pulling on me, you know? And then Medicare, you know, I'm vegan and I'm very healthy. So it doesn't mean that people who are not vegan are not healthy, or all vegans are healthy. It doesn't mean that at all, but I am. So Medicare didn't really resonate with me either. So I said, yeah, let me think about this. And then it came to me, okay, you need to have a title, you need to have a store, you need to have people relanguage how they see themselves, and you need to have a podcast. So I said, oh, wow. So what I looked at was people see themselves sometimes in negative reflections from other people who are younger. They see themselves as old and as aging and elderly and all of that. And I'm like, no, we are vibrant, we are mature, we're seasoned, and we are alive and active. So it's okay. And then people are like, yeah, that's true. And then I said, well, you know, we need to have a title that reflects who we are. So Gray Matters, Gray Lives Matter. I said, no, that doesn't resonate with me. And then I thought about, oh, it came to me, boom, boom, boom. Gray Lives on the Rise. Lives rhymes with rise, and we're going up. We're not going down. I said, I like that. And then the next thing was like, okay, you need to have a store for your merchandise because people need to be able to have really positive merchandise. So that's why I have this Great Lives on the Rise t-shirt. And Vicky, lovely Vicky, has a mug, her mug. So we have all kinds of merchandise, right? And so go to our store and give you that information later. And then the last thing was the podcast. I said, okay, let me have a podcast so people like Vicky can talk about their accomplishments, their products, their services, because we don't really have a forum to do that, the 50 plus group. It's like when you're 49, you're relevant, and when you become 50, you become irrelevant in this country. And I said, what a difference a year makes. It's crazy. So we've had people from Australia on, from the Netherlands, from New Zealand, Canada, the UK, and of course, America. They've done very, very well. So, and a little bit about me. I'm a certified Reiki master, a certified metaphysician, a certified aromatherapist, college professor of psychology. I have my own clinical practice in psychology. I'm a life coach, an award-winning author. So I've done quite a few things in my lifetime. Right? So, and all of this comes under the heading of Oyende Enterprises, which is my parent company. And one of my companies is Jamila Sense. And it's this wonderful product that's part of that. It's an aromatherapy product. It's amazing. It's called Peace Be Still. And what you do is, you see how clear it is? You take it, you put it in your hands, palms of your hands, you rub it together, and you just breathe in. Oh my goodness. It's all natural. No fillers, no additives. And it gets rid of stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, hyperactivity within children, hormonal imbalances, and sinus congestion, sinus headaches, and migraine headaches. Right? And flies, mosquitoes will not come near you if you put it on. They hate it. And I live in Georgia, which makes it excellent because they would eat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in Georgia. The mosquitoes will. So go to my website, Oyende Enterprises, OYINDE Enterprises, ENTERPRISES .com to find out more about Gray Lives on the Rise, because that's my newest baby, and to find out about Jamila Sense and my other companies, okay? So now today we have the wonderful Vicky Ferrer. Hope I'm pronouncing the name correct. She is amazing. So what I want to do now is introduce you to Vicky and give you information about her background. Just really, really impressive. Maria Victoria Vicky Ferrer is a seasoned, see, you hear the word seasoned? Is a seasoned corporate trainer, public presence coach, and financial services specialist dedicated to empowering people and families worldwide. For over 2 decades, she has trained leaders, professionals, and youth in communication, leadership, cultural intelligence, and personal power across the UK, Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. A certified international professional trainer and training manager through the American Certification Institute, Vicky combines her expertise in public presence and communication coaching with her work in financial education. Through World Financial Group, she helps families protect their lives, assets, and loved ones while mentoring aspiring entrepreneurs to build businesses with impact. That's important because sometimes people are building businesses and they don't have a firm foundation and the businesses fold, so they're not able to fulfill the vision that they had when they started the company. So Vicky is your person to help you have a firm financial footing. A Cum Laude graduate in behavioral science and master's in development communication, Vicky has held top leadership roles in Toastmasters International, including Region 11 advisor and District 20 governor, and is a 4-time, did you hear me? 4-time Distinguished Toastmaster. Okay, that's amazing. Amazing. She received the President's Citation Award in 2022 and was recognized as one of the top 50 global inspirational women to look out for in 2023. Her vision is simple, yet powerful: to train women inspire youth, and empower families to thrive with confidence, influence, and security. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that wonderful? Thank you so much, Vicky, for joining us. How are you?
I am good, Jamila. I woke up this morning and I said, "Oh my God, today is my podcast interview with Jamila." And I was so excited. I felt the enthusiasm and the energy just going all over me. I couldn't
Yeah,
wait. So, thank you
yeah.
for the opportunity. I love your enthusiasm, your energy. I'm picking it up, the positive vibes.
I love everything that you have done and continue to do. You are a
Thank you.
global trendsetter. Okay,
Thank
you're a
you.
global trendsetter. So that is so, so amazing. So let's find out a little bit about Vicky and then get into the services that you provide. Who is Vicky? So give us a little bit about your background and then what led you into this wonderful field.
Okay, first of all, I am originally from the Philippines.
Mm,
And after, at the age of 28, I moved to the Middle East.
mm,
And from the Middle East, I stayed there for another 28 years, doing my training, doing my leadership and communication
mm,
training. And I found out that it was really very important to connect with people, different
mm,
nationalities, different gender, different religion. And that was when I realized cultural intelligence is very
mm.
important, Jamila. Because
Yeah,
if we only live in one country and we don't really mix or network with other nationalities, we tend to judge how people are without
yeah,
really knowing them. Am I right, Jamila?
yes, exactly.
Yeah. However, living in the Middle East for 28 years, I lived at least 18 years in Qatar and met different. I started enjoying their culture, their tradition,
Mm,
even respecting their religion. Most of all,
mm.
Jamila, I love their food. So, so every
Yeah,
time I would get invited, let's say to the different communities, I wouldn't say no because
yeah.
I wanted to learn all about their culture, their way of talking, their way of communicating. As you know, I was married to a Jordanian, Jamila. And
Mm,
what happened was he would think in Arabic and
mhm,
talk in English. And somehow we had a miscommunication every time because I
mhm.
would think as a Filipina and then communicate in English. So somehow we had cultural clashes.
Yeah.
And this happened until we realized, hey, that's not actually what we're meaning. We want to communicate in a positive way. We want to understand each other.
Mhm,
However, because of our cultural differences, we tend to say something else. And this is how I learned to be able to communicate with different nationalities in the best possible way. It was such a great learning experience, and I'm always thankful that I was given this opportunity, Jamila.
I think that's really wonderful, Vicky, because you were immersed within the culture, so you were able to experience it firsthand as opposed to reading about it and experiencing other cultural differences in a detached way, like in an academic way. You were there in the culture, so you could experience why the communication wasn't as fluid as it could have been because of cultural differences. I think that's
That's
amazing.
that's
Yeah.
true. In fact, Jamila, I wanted to tell you about a story. It was funny because my husband, they would speak in Arabic. I'm the only foreigner there, so why should they speak English for me? So I didn't, at that time, I didn't understand Arabic. Now I can speak conversational Arabic. So they
Mm-hmm.
would laugh to their heart's delight. And I was saying, what's funny? So, I was looking at the four wall. I mean, come on. So I'd ask my husband, hey, can you please translate it into English, the joke or whatever? Jamila, what I discovered is when it's translated into English, it wasn't funny anymore.
Yeah.
And so my husband would, nudge me, laugh, just be polite and laugh. And I said, I can't pretend to laugh. I said, what's funny? And then the people would start laughing at us because we were arguing. So
Mhm.
it's always good, Jamila, that I realize it's always good to know, not 100%, know about the language.
Yeah.
Because if you understand the language, then you appreciate it. Sometimes you don't want to hear because sometimes they're saying bad things. But
Yeah. Yeah.
all in all, it's always good to understand the
It
language of
is.
other people.
It
So
is.
yeah,
I
so
agree. I agree.
mhm,
You miss
mhm.
out on a lot if you don't understand the language,
Yeah.
especially the side jokes and if they're talking about you. You don't have a clue, you know?
It happened. It happened to me. Sometimes I'm in the elevator, they speak in Arabic and they say, is she Japanese? No, no, no. Her eyes are like, going upwards. Is she Korean? And they would start, but she's too thin, things like that. And I would just let them talk like as if I didn't understand anything. The elevator door opens widely. And then I look back to them. Thank you for commenting. I'm a Filipina and I understood everything that you spoke. Oh my God, she speaks Arabic. And so I think for us people, it's a lesson learned. Never
Yeah,
speak about people in a different language because you never know. That person could have been understanding everything and it leaves a bad taste.
exactly.
Right, Jamila?
Exactly. I
So,
think it's in poor form when people do that because you are talking about people in a disparaging way. And so I don't think that's good. I think that's unkind. That's unkind. So you moved from the Philippines
the Middle East.
to the Middle East and got married, and then did you establish a business there?
I was doing my training, corporate training with businesses. I was like an independent
Mm-hmm.
um, trainer, and I worked for several American universities whose branch campus were all in Qatar, like
Mm-hmm.
Virginia Commonwealth University, Texas A&M, Carnegie Mellon, Weill Cornell, and so I was hired as their trainer, and I
Mm-hmm.
really had a wonderful, wonderful time. My husband passed away about 16 years back, and before that, he decided to go back to Jordan. And from Jordan, less than a year after, he passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yes.
But at least he
And
was able to go back to his birthplace.
yes, I
You
think
know, to
he
feel that.
knew somehow. He had the feeling that he was going to pass away. And so
Mm,
he said, oh, we're moving to Jordan. And I said, why? Because we're having a good life here in Qatar. But, he said, no, no, let's move. And yeah, it was
mm,
a sad story. And this is the reason, one of the reason why I joined the financial service under Crusader Nation, under Mr. June de la Cruz, somebody I highly admire as my leader,
mm,
because I felt that there was an importance in educating families about the importance of protecting
mm,
yourself today, protecting yourself tomorrow. What's
mm-hmm.
your plan? My husband passed away without living trust, without insurance, and we were practically left with nothing. Few years after, my son passed away on a car accident, and again,
Ooh,
I was not aware in the Middle East about life insurance and all. Passed away, and there was no life insurance. So I made it a vow, actually a commitment, Jamila.
mm,
I will not let this happen to other families like
yeah,
what happened to me, because you start thinking, should I am grieving for my husband, but I am also grieving for me and my children. We
yeah,
have no protection. We had no knowledge. We were ignorant about all these financial services that we could have used and we could have
yeah,
taken, right, Jamila?
mm-hmm.
And here in the US, we are told that 50% at least of Americans do not have insurance products, or they don't even know about it. And so we're not here to sell. We're here to just educate you and empower you on the importance of thinking about yourself, your health, your property, and what about your children, your beneficiaries? Think about them. There was one agent who told me this story that, Vicky, one client of mine, she didn't like me for some reason, so she cut the insurance policy. And we discussed it. I said, well, it's not because she doesn't like you. Is it because she doesn't want her beneficiaries to be able to take control of his property and the money? So he's not cutting the agent. He's cutting the beneficiaries' benefit. So it's something that I love to do that and just say, hey, I'm not here to sell to you. I'm just here to educate, empower, because this is what happened to me. This is my story. And I want to share my story, Jamila.
Yeah, and people should definitely, I think people be very, very, very open and receptive to what you have to say, Vicky, especially women, because we tend not to deal with finances that much, the 50+ group. I think we're becoming more astute in doing so now. But I know 10 to 20 years ago, women were not that actively involved as a group. There were individuals that were, but as a group. So having to talk to someone like you would be just so important. And you're right. And people don't like to talk about death benefits and things like that because they think that that's morbid. But then what's more morbid is if your loved one dies and you have no coverage and you have no insurance, you have none of the protections because you didn't want to talk about it. And I think it's really important that you are bringing it to the forefront, Vicky.
Right, Jamila. And I wanted to also add, like what I thought, that insurance was only for death benefits. No, there is such a thing as cash accumulation. There is also a plan for you when you retire. There is like long-term care, there is critical illness, and so many riders that we can benefit from, which I didn't know before. There's what we call the juvenile insurance, where you pay for the premium of your at least minimum of 6 months child until he can withdraw at the age of 18 his money and and help himself with education, maybe buy a house. What's the greater gift can you give to your son or grandson? And instead of buying them, whatever gifts that maybe later on he will outgrow it and he won't need those toys anymore, but buy these premiums. And I've seen families who have done that, and you see the joy in their eyes because they did it. There was no regret, right, Jamila?
And you're creating legacy, Vicky. You're creating legacy because if you buy a $1 million house, the property value goes down immediately after you sign on the dotted line. The same thing for a car. It makes no sense to spend that kind of money on a house unless it's located on a couple of hundred acres of land. It's just part of the package. But people tend to buy things and invest their time and money into things that are transitory and have no lasting value. So investing in land is always a very good idea. It's an excellent idea because there's only so much land and so much water and so much air. And so if you buy the land and get the air rights, the saying that people cannot fly over your island without your permission, and you get the water rights, you get all those things, you are a perpetual millionaire. But people have been trained to think like that. They're like, oh, I don't want to get this old piece of land with nothing on it. I want to go down to this prominent high-end area and hang out. And then after you've finished hanging out, spending your disposable income, you have nothing to show for it because it's gone. Whereas if you
That's
buy
true.
property, it keeps appreciating in value. So Vicky, that is so wonderful. I'm so
Yes,
happy
thank
that
you.
you're helping people, particularly women.
Yes, the women. So even with our services, we also cater to women who are business entrepreneurs to protect their business. We have business planning, we have estate planning, we have legacy planning. If you
Hmm.
happen to you want to you want to leave it to some beneficiaries, or others leave it to their favorite charity organization. So, I
Hmm.
mean, how cool is that? That you have a
Hmm.
choice before you pass away. I love this orphanage, and I would like to leave my property or money to this
Hmm.
orphanage. I mean, there are so many ways of being able to, and even with somebody who buys her land, there's a way of protecting her land through using our strategies, our plans. And so I'm just thankful, Jamila, that you're giving me this opportunity to raise awareness among us women, especially um, 50 and above, because we think that, oh, we don't need to do anything, and we can just ride along with life. No, we are the voice of the world. As women, we have the strongest voice. We are made to empower each other, uplift
Hmm.
each other. And just as like you, Jamila, I really highly admire you, because when you came to do a pre-interview with me, I could feel your sincerity. I could feel your
Yeah.
soul, because you
Mm.
want to help people. Why go through all this trouble?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for anything, but because you have a mission to empower as many women as possible,
Hmm.
especially I lived in the Middle East, and there are women, of course, with all respect to them, who still feel that, oh, I don't have a voice. I'm just going to be the quiet person, and let my daughters, let my husband, let the others talk for me. But now the Middle East has come to a stage where the women want to be empowered. The women
Yeah.
want to have
They do.
strong voices. And
Yeah.
you are the driving force, Jamila, for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Vicky. I so
Yeah,
appreciate that. And
most welcome.
I think the feeling is mutual with all the things that you have to offer, particularly the financial literacy, because there's so many people, particularly women who are over 50. Some of them didn't even know where the husband's bank account was once he
There you
transitioned,
go.
because he handled everything. And so once the husband or wife transitions, and if that person who transitions has all of the data and even something as simple as your login information
Mhm,
to your
mhm.
computer. All those things, because I learned this a couple of years ago, should be written out on a piece of paper, placed in a safe deposit box so people can go to it and see exactly what the assets are.
Exactly, exactly. And
Mm,
I think there should always be a relationship between a man and her spouse, that everything should be transparent, because
hmm.
whoever is left behind, don't forget, whoever is left behind suffers. And you don't want, when we say that, when we buy like death benefits, we are leaving a love letter to our
Mm,
loved ones, because they
like
don't
that.
need to think about the funeral expense, the
Right.
hospital costs, and all that. And families suffer. Somebody passes away, you're already grieving, but you also have
Hmm.
to grieve, because how do you pay the hospital expense? How do you pay
Hmm.
for the funeral expense? Whereas if you had bought a policy for death benefit, everything could have been taken care of, and all you have to do is just focus on missing, grieving for your spouse, and remembering the good things that you had together, the memories, the love that you had for each other. I think
Yeah.
this is really very important, Jamila.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's very true to see the connection because people in their 50s and above were raised kind of differently than the ones now. They're raised to be stoic. The men were raised to be stoic and not show any emotion, be basically robotic. And um, you the roles have changed because they're now being encouraged to be more heart-centered, connecting the brain with the heart so that we can communicate as people who are 50 plus differently and start looking at the fact that we have more years behind us than we do in front of us. And so how are we going to, like you talked about before, set up the legacy for our children and grandchildren and have them be prepared for the future, because a lot of them are not.
Amen. Amen to that. And this is also the reason why I'm looking for team members. And I hope that, women would, come to me and let's connect, because I'm looking for teams to establish their business of empowering and educating people in different parts of the states. Maybe somebody from Georgia, somebody from another state. Let's do it all together as women. And if anyone wants to contact me, I have Jamila here. She's my partner, and we could all do these together, ladies. Let's not wait until it's too late. I had a client who I was, telling her, oh, why don't you, get the, insurance because for your husband? No, 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 we don't need it because, we're fine. We're not going to be dying anytime. I said, it's not about dying, it's about protection. 6 months after, she called me and she was crying. And she said
Wow.
that her husband has cancer.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yes, in stage 4,
Oh my
so many
goodness.
months to live. So imagine that decision, Jamila. If she
Mm,
had just made the decision, okay, why not? It's going to be
hmm
like monthly so much, and why not? But it's protecting myself, protecting my husband, protecting my
Right.
children. Uh,
And your assets. Right.
I
Right.
yeah, I don't like the word regret. It's not
Right.
in my dictionary or my vocabulary, Jamila, because I always think, if I do this, if I don't do this, will I regret it for the rest of my life? And that's
hmm
what happens. When we regret, it's too late. We
Yeah.
cannot bring back the past.
Yeah.
We say, don't cry over spilled milk, because we can't cry over the spilled milk. It's spelled already. So yeah, and I want to, pass on this message to
hmm
our women out there, to your husbands. Talk to them and talk about your plan. What is your strategy?
Right. 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 Because a lot of people don't have a plan. They're
No.
just winging it.
They plan for parties, they plan for, coffee, for restaurant, but they forget that there is such a thing as long-term planning, because at the end, it's about life and death. It's about your health.
Mhm.
One client of mine had a critical illness. All of a sudden, he fell from so many stories and fell, and he broke his leg. And, he was receiving a big amount of salary, but thank God he took insurance with the benefit of critical illness. So he is receiving monthly money, at least while he is not working, while he's incapacitated. Isn't
Wow.
that something? Because
Yeah.
he prepared. And
Yeah.
we're not aware of that. I wasn't aware
Yeah.
of these things before. And so I said, Jamila, I'm never going to keep quiet, because even if you don't want to listen to me, I'll still tell you, because I feel it's my responsibility to
Yeah.
let you know.
The whole thing is you plant the seed and hope that it germinates. But you've done your part, you planted the seed. So it's now
Amen.
for the recipient to water it and to nurture it so it can grow into something that would be beneficial.
There you
Yeah, I
go.
think this is so refreshing. Who are most of your clients, Vicky?
Well, my clients are also from, the baby boomers. We have young clients who are like 40 plus years old. They are just starting the family, bought a new house. But these are the people who want to prepare early. And they say, oh, Vicky, I want to prepare for my retirement. So at the age of 40, I have time to pay premium, and the premium is not going to be that expensive yet. So I have a window of opportunity until I retire. I know that I will retire with peace of mind, because we cannot really depend on our SS, our savings, and our pension. With
True.
everything that's so expensive these days, we need more money. We need more
Yeah.
money for emergency fund,
Disposable. Yeah.
right? What about
Disposable.
during the pandemic? Did we have emergency funds? No. And
Mm-mm.
3 to 6 months is now no longer enough. We always say, let's do it 6 to 12 months. So if you are, you want to plan for your family, approach a financial advisor, approach us, Jamila and I, and we can help you with planning, and then you will have peace of mind. You'll be able to sleep in the evening and say, okay, thank God I did this. I know that my loved ones will be protected.
And that's the greatest gift that you can give anyone, as opposed to spending money on toys and all of that for grandchildren, because after 30 minutes of playing with them, they don't even know where the item is. They toss it. They're looking for the next greatest, best thing.
Yeah.
So having financial literacy in the family, having people know how to spend their dollars to grow the wealth within their communities, I think is an excellent idea, because
Yes.
this country prides itself on individualism and individualistic capitalism, and it's not working. It's not working. It uses that as a base, but then it's not something to help make everyone else financially literate and empowered, like you had. Like I mentioned earlier, you are into empowering people so that they won't end up in a situation where they have no money or no resources.
Right.
And money and death are two topics that people don't like to talk about.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you, because I've approached certain people. Oh, no, 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 I don't want to talk about death. I
mm-hmm,
don't want to talk about money. Nobody has
mm-hmm,
the right to know about my financial status and all.
mm-hmm.
But hey, it's not me getting into your privacy. It's me wanting to help you. I want to be of service to you, because
Yes,
I've seen families who have suffered, and I don't want you to suffer, because I
yes.
see that you're in a situation where you need to help yourself and plan for yourself.
I so
So,
agree. I so agree, Vicky. I want to get your social media information now rather than waiting until towards the last minute. So if people want to get in touch with you, and you should definitely get in touch with this financial expert
yes,
person,
thank you.
definitely, and especially men and women whose significant other has transitioned, has passed. So you
Right.
need to get your financial house in order. So how can I get in touch with you, Vicky?
Well, I'm in LinkedIn, Victoria Ferrer.
Okay,
I'm
you
also
spell your last name.
Ferrer.
Okay,
Okay, and I'm also in Instagram, Victoria M. Ferrer.
okay.
And of course, I'm in Facebook. I'm more casual in Facebook. I say Vicky Ferrer. So
Mm.
you can all get in touch with me, and I'm sure we will have a nice conversation, and we will uplift each other.
Yeah,
Let's
oh yeah,
make this a movement where
yeah.
we can elevate the women of Jamila's movement, because she's into really raising the empowerment of the women, and I'm here to help you, Jamila, because
Thank
we
you,
are in
Father.
this together.
Oh, that is so, so very kind of you. We're in it together, and we're into helping people 50 plus.
50
Plan.
plus.
Yeah, because people think, well, if I'm in my 50s, it's too late. It is never too late.
Never
It
too
is
late.
never too late. They think, well, I should have started this when I was in my 20s. Maybe that wasn't the best time for you. So drop your bucket where you are and start where you are. And Vicky is the person to help you. She's very engaging, very warm, extremely knowledgeable, uh, well versed in different cultures. That's what's really good. So if you are from any of the cultures that I named earlier that she's familiar with, you don't have to worry about translation problems or anything like that. She understands you and the culture,
Yes,
you know. So that's a plus. So
thank you.
definitely get in touch with her. So let's talk about some of the other things that you do, Vicky.
Yes, well, my other passion is coaching,
Okay.
coaching, women,
Mm-hmm.
teens on raising their confidence because a lot of them still don't want to show their voice or let their voice be heard. I've had teenagers in the Middle East who only talk to the smartphone. They won't even look at you. And I
True,
call them the TikTok generation, right?
true, true,
And
true.
and the parents would complain to me and say, Vicky, this child of mine only talks to me on the phone. I said, let him come to my workshop and we will make sure that he will have eye to eye contact with you and you will feel that he has changed. And so I
Mm-hmm.
do this for teenagers, for women who
Mm-hmm.
feel that I've lost my voice. I feel that, everybody's overpowering me, but you
Yeah,
have a voice, you have a
yeah,
message, you have a story.
yeah,
It's time that people know about your story because your story is very important and we can learn
yes.
from you.
That's the purpose of the podcast because you're trying to do it on your own without having this kind of platform. It can be done. It was just time consuming and takes up a lot of your precious time. Whereas we're set up to promote you, to have people know who you are and to seek you out, especially the people who are 50 plus, because we've
Mhm.
been ignored. And so now
Yes.
we have a community that we're growing and people can shop amongst themselves just to give more information about their products and whatever, because when you're dealing with the general population, the people who are younger sometimes tend to be arrogant and they tend to gaslight you,
Mhm. Mhm.
to think as if they know more than you, even though they work for you. You own the company, or you're the elder in the family. Whereas with Gray Lamps on the Rise, no one would be condescending. No one would make assumptions about you, about who you are and who you are not. It's an open community for people to come and share knowledge and tangible things like products. So
Lovely, lovely. And I
yeah,
love it. Gray lives on the run. We are not
yeah,
judgmental here. We
not
love each
judgmental.
other no matter whoever you are.
Yes,
Everybody is welcome to
everyone.
Jamila's community, Gray
Yeah,
Lives.
well, our community.
Yeah,
I think
our
that
community. I'm
yeah,
part
it
of the
belongs.
community now.
You are definitely part of the community. You know, and it's a collective effort because we would not be as successful as we are without the members. So we're very
Right.
mindful of that and very appreciative and thankful. Thankful. So I'm just so impressed with the fact that you can help people in
Yes. Thank
Asia,
you.
Europe, the continent of Africa, North America. So whoever you are, if you're in a country other than the US, Vicky is your person because she speaks different languages and she knows the culture.
Yes.
So there's some
Yes.
things that we do in the West that just would not be acceptable in the Eastern culture. So she can translate those
Yes,
experiences.
yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
that, Jamila. It's
yeah.
always, empowering to talk to you because of so many people that you help, and you make
Mhm.
so much effort to do this, Jamila, because you love people. I
Oh,
feel
yeah,
that, yeah,
I do.
you
I
don't
do.
want anyone to be at a disadvantage. You want them to grow, to shine and to be
Mhm.
able to voice out what they feel. That's why you always want the lives, gray lives on the rise.
Oh, definitely. And to know that you're talking to your peers, and so no one's going to be condescending or
Yes.
arrogant because we're all
Yes.
in this together. Whereas when you're dealing with people who are younger, and not all, young people. I don't want people sending me these texts. Not all young people, but a majority of them don't value who we are. So
Mhm.
we have to value who we are and not
Right.
accept second-class citizenship that they
Yes.
attempt to put over us. So no, we're
Yes.
breaking out of those stereotypes, breaking out.
I I agree. And this is the reason also, Jamila, why I like to reach out to the young people, Gen Z, millennials. I want to know their language. I want to know how they communicate. And I want to feel young, and
Well,
to
you
know,
look great. You look marvelous,
thank
darling. Yeah.
you, thank you.
Mhm.
So they use words like FOMO and BRB, and I try to learn what they mean, because then I say, oh, I need to know these things, because
Mhm.
it's good to communicate with these people. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, Jamila, they will understand us more, because they will know more about the 50 plus women. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that they will appreciate whatever experiences and whatever lessons learned we have. They have a lot to learn from us,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. When I was younger, I used to sit at the feet of my elders and listen to their stories. I found it so fascinating. I
Oh,
have my friends who were my age, but then I would go and sit on the porch and listen to their stories. I was just mesmerized by that. And so I learned, I didn't have to learn things from scratch because things were passed down to me
mm-hmm.
through the oral tradition. Whereas now, a lot of things are not passed down to the younger generation for different reasons. So they're having to repeat cycles over and over again
Yeah.
because they haven't learned from history because it hasn't been passed down to them. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think by having beautiful souls like yourself, Vicky, it
Thank
really,
you.
really helps the entire planet because we have a lot to share and a lot to give.
That's true.
We have a lot to share and a lot to give. And we are just so pleased to have Vicky here today to
Thank you.
have us
Thank
think
you.
in financial terms, ladies. I know some people don't feel comfortable because if they were married and now are no longer married, the husbands handled all of the financial affairs. So now they're having to handle them and they're clueless.
Yes.
So, and getting the information from um, people like ourselves, we can help build them up. We can help empower them. And they don't have to start from scratch.
Right.
A lot of them
Exactly.
like, well, I don't have to listen. If you don't listen and learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it,
There
repeat
you go.
the
Totally
mistakes,
agree.
because you don't know.
Exactly. You don't know what you don't
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
right. You don't know what you don't know. And that's what happened to me. I didn't know what I didn't know. And then I said, oh
Yeah.
my God, what did I put myself into? So, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lesson learned. It was a very bitter lesson, but
Mhm.
I want to get over that bitterness by helping others, paying
Yeah.
forward, and making sure it doesn't happen to them. So I would like to appeal to our ladies there in the community, ladies, men, young people, prepare. Prepare as early as possible, because tomorrow may be too late. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's
Never
going to
know.
happen to me, Jamila, tomorrow.
You never know,
Right?
Vicky. You never
Nothing
know.
is permanent except change. And so, let's decide today. We could have decided yesterday, but yesterday is too late.
Yeah.
Decide today, because you want to have peace of mind. You want to give love letters to your family, whoever will be left behind. You know
Yes.
that when you pass away, they will say, I love you, Dad. I love you, Mom. I love you, Grandma, because you made us feel so special by leaving this to us.
But
Isn't that so
passing,
wonderful
it's
to
so
hear?
wonderful. And
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect way to conclude on this podcast,
Yes. Yes.
to pass it on, build a legacy. And by building a legacy, it means having financial discussions. We can't run from it anymore.
Right. Right.
We're so used to not dealing with things that make us feel uncomfortable. And therein lies the growth opportunity when you deal with things that make you uncomfortable. It's stretching you to new heights. So what would you like to leave for our audience? I thought the other part, but I want to see if you have any parting words.
Well, first of all, Jamila, again, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. This is something that I was really happy about, reaching out to women 50 plus. And I'm sure it's not only women 50 plus, probably their husbands, everybody, their loved
Yeah,
ones who will be watching us.
yeah.
And to let them know that nothing is late. It's always good to plan for your lives because, as we said, we don't want regret. I don't want regret in my dictionary or my vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
let's reach out to each other. Jamila and I are here to help connect with you. We can just talk, and share each other's stories and things like that. And this would be a wonderful way to uplift each other. We are here to empower you. We are here to educate you. Right, Jamila?
Definitely, Vicky. I so love the way that you wrapped this up and summed this up. So
Yes.
Vicky gave you the way in which to get in touch with her social media handles, and we will also have her contact information is going to be
Yes.
available underneath the video. So tell your friends and everyone else to come and be part of our community. Yeah, to be part of our community.
Yes.
We so appreciate you so much, Vicky.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so very, very
Thank you,
much.
Jamila. And it's really nice meeting you. It's my pleasure, and definitely we will meet again soon. We have a mission to accomplish, the two of us.
Yes,
Let's go
yes.
for it.
I'm right there with you. All
Gray
right.
lives on
Great.
the run.
Great
Rise.
lives on the
Woo! Gray
rise.
lives on the rise.
Yes, so be here every Sunday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., and then you can look at the replay afterwards. So thank you, beloveds,
Thank
as
you.
always.
Thank you.
We
God
love
bless
you.
you. We love
We
you too,
appreciate
Jamila.
you.
Thank
And
you.
we love you so much, Vicky. Thank you for taking out the time today to impart invaluable information to the listening audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Sense, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Sense is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Gray Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.